Bella, a 23-year-old nursing student in her third year at the university, had always been a bright and focused young woman. She was raised by her mother, a strong and resilient woman who sold fruits by the roadside to make sure Bella had everything she needed. Her mother, though struggling, always told Bella that education was the key to a better life, that hard work would pay off someday. Bella knew her mother's sacrifices were not in vain. She worked hard in school, determined to make her mother proud. She excelled in her studies, always being the top of her class. But university life was not as easy as Bella had imagined. Her fellow students, who were once friendly and kind, slowly began to drift away. They were from wealthy families, wearing designer clothes and driving flashy cars. Bella, on the other hand, had to make do with second-hand clothes and always took the bus. Her friends started to look at her with pity, sometimes mocking her for her poor lifestyle. "Why are you dulling, Bella?" one of them, Chica, asked one day. "You can't keep acting like this. We know what you need to get ahead. Just get yourself a sugar daddy, someone who'll spoil you, take care of you, and give you everything you want. You'll see, life will be easier." Bella's heart sank. She had never thought of taking such a path. But the teasing from her friends grew louder. Every day, they would talk about their sugar daddies, how they bought them expensive gifts, took them on lavish trips, and gave them money to flaunt. They laughed, teasing Bella for being naive. One day, after so much pressure, Bella met Chief Ernest. He was a wealthy, middle-aged man who seemed kind at first. He took her out to expensive dinners and showered her with gifts. He told her how beautiful she was and how he could take care of her. He said he could help her with her studies, get her out of her struggles, and give her the life she had always dreamed of. Bella, torn between the love and respect she had for her mother and the glittering promise of a luxurious life, succumbed to Chief Ernest's charm. He took care of her, giving her money and treating her like a queen. At first, Bella felt guilty, but as time went on, she grew used to the attention and wealth. Her friends praised her, calling her lucky. Her mother, however, was not fooled. "Bella, my dear," her mother said one evening, looking at her with concern. "Please, don't let any man use you. That life is dangerous. Trust me, I've seen it before. Money can't buy your happiness. Protect yourself." But Bella, blinded by the luxurious lifestyle and the constant praise from her friends, brushed off her mother's warning. "Mama, you don't understand. I'm doing this for us. You won't have to worry about money anymore. I'll make everything better," she told her mother, but the words felt hollow even to her own ears. What Bella didn't know was that Chief Ernest wasn't just any wealthy man. He was part of something darker, something sinister that Bella couldn't imagine. His affection for her was not real, but part of a twisted plan. The older man had ties to a secret society that used women for rituals, believing they could harness power from their bodies. And so, Bella, unknowingly, became part of their sickening plan. One night, as she lay in his arms, she began to feel strange. Something wasn't right. A stench that she couldn't ignore filled the room, and Bella's body felt heavy, as though it was turning against her. The next morning, she felt an unbearable pain, a burning sensation in her most intimate area. Confused and terrified, Bella went to the hospital, where the doctor's face turned pale as he examined her. This is not normal," he said, shaking his head. "There's something inside you, something unnatural." As the days went by, the pain worsened. Bella couldn't understand it. Maggots began to crawl from her, and a foul odor followed her wherever she went. Her body was decaying from the inside out, and she didn't know why. Desperately, she went to different hospitals, but no one could explain what was happening. One evening, her mother came to her side, her face filled with sorrow. "Bella," she whispered softly, "I warned you. You didn't listen to me." Tears filled Bella's eyes as she looked at her mother, regret filling her heart. "Mama, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing. But now, I can't go back. Please, help me. I don't know what's happening to me." Her mother held her close, stroking her hair. "I'll always be here for you, Bella. But we need to fight this. We need to expose them. We need to make them pay for what they've done to you." Bella's heart was broken. She had fallen into a trap she couldn't escape from, and now, her body was the price she had to pay. But the worst part was knowing she had betrayed her mother, the one person who had always loved her unconditionally. As the days turned into weeks, Bella's health deteriorated further. The ritualistic horrors were taking their toll. Bella began to feel as if her life was slipping away, all because of the choices she made, choices driven by the desire for money and validation. But could she still find a way to make things right? Could she escape the darkness that had taken over her life, or was it already too late? Bella's body continued to betray her, each day feeling worse than the last. The maggots inside her seemed to multiply, and the unbearable stench followed her wherever she went. She could no longer walk without feeling the weight of what had happened to her, and she couldn't even look at herself in the mirror anymore. Her skin had lost its glow, her once beautiful face now pale and drawn. Her body felt like it was crumbling, and she was helpless to stop it. Her friends, who had once mocked her for her poor lifestyle, no longer looked at her with admiration. Now, they looked at her with pity, whispering behind her back. What happened to her? They would ask. She was living the dream, wasn't she? But no one knew the truth. No one knew the dark secret that had consumed Bella. Chief Ernest, the man she thought had cared for her, was now nowhere to be found. He had disappeared, leaving her to deal with the consequences of his actions. Bella's phone calls went unanswered, and her messages were left unread. The lavish gifts, the expensive dinners, the trips they'd taken together, none of it mattered now. It was all part of a plan she hadn't seen, a trap she had willingly walked into. Bella's mother, though devastated by what had happened, was determined not to lose her daughter. She refused to let Bella die in silence. "We will fight this, my daughter," she said, her voice shaking with both fear and resolve. "We will go to the police, to anyone who will listen. We will make sure they pay for what they've done to you." But Bella knew that justice seemed so far out of reach. She had fallen into the hands of powerful people, people who knew how to cover their tracks, people who had made her a pawn in their twisted game. She had no proof, no way to show what had been done to her. All she had now were the aching reminders on her body and the broken heart in her chest. Days turned into weeks, and Bella's pain only worsened. Her mother, helpless in the face of her daughter's suffering, watched her with tears in her eyes. "I failed you, Bella," she would whisper in the dead of night, sitting beside her daughter's bed. "I tried to protect you. I told you, but you wouldn't listen. Now look at what they've done to you." Bella, barely able to speak, would reach for her mother's hand. "Mama, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know it would be like this." Her mother would squeeze her hand, the pain in her heart almost unbearable. "You are my life, Bella. I don't care about anything else. I will not let them take you from me. We will fix this. I promise you." But Bella knew, deep down, that no amount of love or promises could undo what had been done to her. She had become a victim in a cruel game, and now, there seemed to be no way out. The darkness inside her, both physical and emotional, felt like it would swallow her whole. One evening, as Bella lay in her bed, her body in agony, she heard a knock at the door. Her mother, as always, was there, bringing her food and medicine. But this time, there was something different in her eyes, a glimmer of hope. "Bella," she said, sitting by her side, "I found something. There's a woman, an old friend of mine, who used to work with Chief Ernest. She knows the truth. She knows what is done to you and other girls like you." Bella's heart skipped a beat. Could it be true? Could there be someone who could help her, someone who knew what had really happened? Her mother nodded, squeezing Bella's hand. "She's willing to talk. She's scared, but she's ready to expose him. She knows where to find him, and she's going to help us." Tears filled Bella's eyes. "Mama, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can face the world again, after all that's happened." "You don't have to do it alone, Bella," her mother whispered, brushing a tear from her daughter's cheek. "I'm here. We'll do this together. You don't have to carry this burden by yourself." For the first time in weeks, Bella felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there was a way to fight back, a way to take back control of her life. She had been broken, used, and betrayed, but perhaps there was still a chance to heal, to expose the darkness that had taken away her innocence. With her mother by her side, Bella knew she couldn't give up now. She had to fight for her future, for the girl who had once dreamed of becoming a nurse and helping others. She had to reclaim her life from the hands of the man who had stolen everything from her. And so, with a deep breath, Bella made a decision. She would face the truth, no matter how painful, no matter how terrifying. She would fight to make sure that no other girl would suffer the way she had. And she would find a way to heal, to reclaim the woman she had once been. The road ahead was uncertain, filled with pain and fear. But Bella had one thing left, the love and strength of a mother who would never give up on her. And together, they would bring the truth to light. Bella's days were long and filled with pain, both physical and emotional. But as the weeks passed, the support from her mother became her anchor. They met with the woman who had worked with Chief Ernest, and after much hesitation, the woman shared the truth, the darkest parts of Bella's past that had been kept hidden in the shadows. The woman told them about the secret society Ernest was part of, a group that used vulnerable women like Bella for their rituals, draining their lives for their twisted beliefs. Bella's heart pounded as she learned more of the depravity that had trapped her. But the most shocking part was that there were others who had escaped the same fate. The woman knew of a network of survivors, women who had once been in Bella's shoes, now fighting to expose the horrors they had endured. With this new knowledge, Bella and her mother decided to take action. They reached out to the authorities, presenting what they had learned, the woman's testimony, and the names of those who could be witnesses. It wasn't an easy path, there were threats, there were sleepless nights filled with fear, but Bella found strength she never knew she had. The courage of others who had survived gave her hope. She could no longer let herself be defined by the mistakes of the past. She was ready to take back her life. As the investigation unfolded, Chief Ernest and the other members of the society were slowly brought to justice. Bella's story became a symbol of hope for other young women who were trapped in similar situations, too scared to speak out. Through her own pain, Bella had become a voice for those who had none. It wasn't an easy journey, but Bella learned something invaluable along the way. She had been seeking love, validation, and escape from a life of poverty, but in doing so, she had lost herself. It wasn't wealth or luxury that brought true happiness, it was self-respect, integrity, and the love of the one person who had always believed in her, her mother. With time, Bella's body healed. The maggots were gone, the stench had faded, but the emotional scars took longer to fade. Yet, she was stronger now. She finished her medical degree, dedicating herself to helping those who needed care, as her mother had always dreamed. She worked hard to build a future, not on the promises of wealthy men, but on her own terms. Years later, Bella opened a clinic that specialized in helping women who had been victims of abuse. She called it the Light of Hope, a place where women could heal physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Bella knew the darkness she had endured, and she was determined to help others find their way out of it. Her mother, proud and content, stood by her side every step of the way. "I knew you were strong, Bella," she would say. "You just had to find it in yourself." And Bella did. She found strength in herself, in the love of her mother, and in the knowledge that no matter what had happened to her in the past, she could always choose how her future would unfold. The lesson Bella learned, and the lesson she shared with every woman who came through her clinic, was this: never let anyone take your dignity, your worth, or your soul. You are stronger than any circumstance, and the true power to change your life lies within you. Bella's story wasn't just about survival, it was about rising from the ashes, reclaiming one's power, and embracing the love that comes from within. She had learned the hard way that no amount of money, no flashy car, and no man could ever define her worth. It was her heart, her mind, and her spirit that made her who she was, a beautiful, strong woman who had learned to love herself and to stand up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. In the end, Bella's story was a story of redemption, courage, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her daughter. A story that proved no matter how far you've fallen, you can always rise again. And with the right love and support, you can find your way back to the light. The end. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and